So now we've got our tubes in our blanks, we need to now trim the ends of the blanks so they are square with the tubes. Now this is a trimmer and it's fine for going into the slimline pens, but as you can see there, it is way too small for that one and even smaller for this one. So what I've made are some bushings that go into there. As you can see, that goes into there, and then this goes into that bushing, keeps it nice and square, and then this is for the bigger one into that one. So that gets over that problem, and now we're going to trim. So as you can see, we've trimmed the end, and as you can see, you can just trim it until you see the top of the brass tube shining through. So you can see that that's all level, all nice and flat, and all nice and square to the tube. So we have to do that to all of them. So as you can see, all the blanks have been trimmed down to, you can see the reflection of the brass tubes in there. Both ends, as you can see, all done. And now it's time to turn. So as you can see, I've got two blanks set up on here. This is the tulip oak for the slimline pen, and we're going to turn. Now to turn these, I'm using my roughing gouge. Right, just to let you know, I started off, obviously I've turned these to the shape I want. Had a bit of hassle with getting the right tool, to be quite honest, and I've never turned this resin before, or any resin before. So it's been a challenge to get the right tool to turn it, and I do know that a lot of pen turners that use resin seem to use carbide tools. Now the only carbide tool I've got is a Simon Hope hollowing tool, an 8mm diameter carbide tip on the end. So I thought, well, let's go with that, and yes, that worked a hell of a lot better than my traditional turning tools. So if I'm going to be doing any more resin turning in the future, I think an investment on carbide tools would be a good choice for resin turning. So after that, I then sanded to 600 to start with. Now I started with 600. I then felt there was a few ridges still on the blanks, so then I went down to 180 and removed those ridges, and then worked my way up the sanding discs from 180 to 240 to 600 and then up to 1000. Now it's not finished, and there are a few rub marks, sanding paper rub marks you can still see on there. So now what I need to do is get some higher grade pads, which I've got one here. Now these aren't big grades. These, I bought a set which is to how can I put it, polish up your headlights, your plastic headlights, when they go a bit dull and not as clear. So there was two of these different grits on either side, but they've only got like number 1, number 2, number 3 and number 4 on them. They're the only ones I've got at the moment. I have got the other ones on order which have got all the proper grip size, so that's the only thing I can use at the moment. So that's what we're going to be using, just to get these nice and shiny. So stay watching.